So, Mythbusters?
Something's going to go someplace where it shouldn't. We're going to have mayhem and destruction one way or another. Yeah. Oh, but what the heck? It's all in the name of science.
I've got a really cool baseball myth. This one is all over the internet.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, the idea is if you keep your baseballs in a humidor, like the thing that you keep your cigars fresh with, that it makes it really hard to hit a home run with.
Yeah, I saw this one on our website, and according to the fans, at one stadium in particular, once they started keeping their balls in a humidor, the number of home runs went down dramatically.
For years, the Colorado Rockies home ground in Denver had the highest home run rate in the majors. But since they started storing baseballs in a humidor, the run rate has dried up. Is there a link?
Well, to test this myth, I think first off, we're going to need to build a humidor and stick some baseballs in it.
You know what we should also do is dry out a set of baseballs so that way we have something to compare to.
So before we go to the park and start hitting balls around, I think what we should do is set up a small-scale experiment in our shop. We'll drop both the dry balls and the humid balls from the same height and see which bounces higher.
It's a good idea.
Grant's plan. A vacuum pump holds the balls at a certain height, then drops them one by one in front of a scale.
So one important thing about this myth is that we drop the balls exactly the same way every time. So we're going to be very careful about how we attach the ball to the cup, making sure to line up the stitching the exact same way. And that way we can remove some of the variables from this experiment. So, we'll have our humidified and dry balls hanging from the ceiling. And then when we want to drop, there you go.
Out in the car park, the guys set up to get the drop on this baseball myth.
You're going to be dropping from a height of 125 inches. So it's like 10.5 feet.
They'll drop 10 balls. The first 5 have spent 2 weeks locked in an old fridge with a dehumidifier, which cut humidity to just 10%.
Some good bouncing.
Yeah, these are all about 110 centimeters.
Ball 5.
Thank you.
There's no ball 5?
Not in baseball, there's no ball 5. But on Mythbusters. Wow.
The high-speed camera shows the dry balls bounced an average height of 106 centimeters.
That's
All right.
pretty consistent.
Great. Let's move on to the humid balls.
The other 5 balls spent the same time in a makeshift humidor. Carrie put a block of waterlogged foam in a perforated plastic container and then put that and the balls in a cooler. As the water evaporated, vapor escaped through the holes,
Seal this up.
raising the humidity inside the cooler to a damp 90%.
Humid ball number 1. Feel that. Just from touching it, you can tell that it's softer.
Can this batch scale the same dizzy heights as the dry balls?
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
After soaking up the atmosphere in Carrie's cooler, it seems the humid balls just can't bounce back. The average height of a humid ball bounce is 91 centimeters, as opposed to 106 centimeters for the dry balls. That's a difference of 14%.
Now, in your typical baseball scenario, with an outfield of, say, 425 feet, 14% is almost 60 feet, which is a difference between an out or a home run.
That was really amazing. I think it definitely warrants further investigation.
Yeah, I say we get out to the baseball field and start hitting these balls and see which ones go farther.
Well, I just don't think we'll be able to both pitch and hit consistently every time. And what we really need to do is isolate the variable of humidity.
You know what I'd also like to do? I'd like to introduce a control into this experiment. You know, a mid-range humidity that we can test against the 2 extremes.
All right. Sounds good.
Now, Adam and Jamie have already got the batting machine and the pitching cannon tied up, trying to crack the case of the corked bat. So, Grant's gone one better and designed a robot that bats and pitches. Here's the deal. The robot will have 2 arms, one holding a bat, one holding a ball. A motor turns the arms, bat connects with ball, ball goes flying to the fence. It's going to be geared for raw power.
Is this our gear?
Yeah,
Dude, it looks like a saw blade. And it's out of here!
So I've got my motor. It's mounted to a beefy plate on the machine. It's wired up to the speed control. That goes to a safety switch, which has this key. And that goes to a bank of batteries. And I'm ready to fire it up for the first time.
The robot batter's wired up. Grant gives it the juice.
3, 2, 1.
The ball jolted free before contact. The bat smashed into the springs, really hitting a groove.
So we're going to ditch the springs and go with some foam, some kind of rigid blue foam.
When the bat comes through, it'll hit the ball and break the foam, not breaking the bat. Hopefully this will work.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hey! Good job!
The bat is still intact.
Looks like the mad batter's ready to be taken out to the ballpark.
Here we are in beautiful San Jose, and look at the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, because you are about to witness dry balls versus humid balls. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to use our robot batting machine, and we are going to hit 30 dry balls and 30 humid balls. And whichever goes farther takes it all home.
It's wood all the way in the big league, but in this case, an aluminum bat might better cope with the rigors of the rig.
We've got 3 sets of balls. Humid balls at 90%, dry balls at 10%, finally a control group at about 50%. Now our baseball hitting robot is situated right on home plate. It's going to hit balls into the outfield. Tori and Carrie will be out there with different colored flags, one for each type of ball, and they'll mark the point where the ball first hits the ground.
In their small-scale test, the humid balls had 14% less bounce. Will that result be replicated in the real world? Now, the robot worked okay in the shop, but you guys know only too well how things go on this show. It's a brand new, intricate rig with high-speed moving parts. Seriously, what are the chances of it working first time?
Okay, first we have the control at 50% humidity with the aluminum bat. 3, 2, 1. Nice!
Well, I'll be. Far from striking out, the mad batter's striking those balls as clean as Babe Ruth himself.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I'm really happy with the rig. So chic.
The guys mix it up, sending a barrage of dry, normal, and humid balls soaring into the sky.
Nice! I love it!
Given the small scale results, my feeling is that these balls are going to go not as far as the dry balls. You know, since there's more moisture in the ball, they're heavier, they're not going to go as far. But we'll see.
This is where all the magic happens. This is the data. This is what the experiment is all about.
With no wind to affect the flight of the ball, test conditions are